You're recording? Yep. Okay. Hi, thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to continue several exercises in which I present you with 4 sentences, unique sentences, and embedded within each of those 4 sentences are multiple errors related to punctuation, syntax, grammar, or spelling. I'll ask you to, after having read the sentence, I'll ask you to pause it, make any and all corrections you're able to identify on your own, and then resume as soon as you feel like you're ready to correct it with me. As always, if you would like to challenge some of the corrections that I present to you or offer alternatives to what I provide, please feel free to use the chat below. There's generally a lot of flexibility when it comes to these sentences, so I would not be shocked to see if you come up with something very different than what I have. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. All right, I will go ahead and read the first sentence to you, excuse me, which is, last night, Phil forget his ticket. Lizzie didn't have her either, so neither of them couldn't go to the concert. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. Pause the video, make your corrections, and resume when ready. I'm getting ahead of myself. Excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, at the beginning of any sentence, you should always start with a capital, which this one is lacking. So last night, Phil forget his ticket. This is the incorrect tense. It should be forgot to show past tense. Let me go back. Forgot. So the E. This is just so sloppy. All right, I apologize. Let's go ahead and try that a third time. All right, so Phil forgot. You know what? I'm still learning to use this tool. There we go. All right, forgot his ticket. And the semicolon here, for those that are not sure as to whether or not it was used correctly, it is used correctly in the sense that a semicolon is used to link 2 separate clauses or independent clauses, which are sentences that contain a verb. They can exist on their own independently of the other. However, we use the semicolon to link 2 separate clauses that are very closely related in their idea. And in this case, the first clause will match the second clause. So in the way that I'm using the semicolon, it is considered appropriate. All right. Although you could forego it altogether and have replaced it with a period, that would be fine as well to create 2 separate sentences. All right, but for now, let's just keep it. All right, last night, Phil, proper noun, capitalized, forgot his ticket. Lizzie didn't have her either. Have her, the 2 do not agree. It should be have hers, referring to the object. All right, so it didn't have hers, not apostrophe S, either. And either and so should actually be separated. This should not be joined together. So I'm going to kind of wedge the 2. Lizzie didn't have hers either, so neither of them couldn't go. So we have neither and couldn't, both of which are operating as negatives. Neither of them could go. You can't have both negatives working in tandem, as one will cancel out the other. It's called a double negative, so I'm going to get rid of the other. So neither of them could go to the, and this wasn't meant to be a mistake, this is a formatting error, the concert, period. All right, general statement ends with a period. I believe we're good to go on that front. Let's go ahead and switch over to the second sentence, which reads, Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is a hug city with millions of residents. Again, be sure to read the sentence aloud to yourself, similar to the way that I read it to you. It'll help you to pick up these intonation points, whether it's to pause or elevating your voice, suggestive of an interrogative sentence or an exclamatory sentence. So again, Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is a hug city with millions of residents. All right, go ahead and pause and make your corrections. Resume when ready. Excuse me. Okay. Tokyo, being a proper noun and also the beginning of the sentence, is capitalized, which is fine. Tokyo, pause, comma, the capital of Japan, comma. Oh, you'll notice also Japan, being the name of a country, is a proper noun. However, it is not capitalized, so I'm going to go ahead and add that capital. Tokyo, pause, the capital of Japan, pause, is a huge city, is the word I'm looking for, not hug city. Hug is the act of moving your arms and wrapping it around something or someone. Huge, in order to have the U vowel, say its name as it were, the long vowel, it should end with an E. It should end with the vowel E. Again, in order for that initial vowel to make or say its name or to produce the long vowel sound. So it should be written as huge with an E at the end. city with millions of residents. And here I am making a statement. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the sentence, which it's not concluded with a punctuation mark of a period. All right, let's go ahead and look directly into our third sentence, which reads, the baby's tiny curled fist waved in the air as he slept in his crib. Again, please pause the video, make your corrections, and resume when ready. Excuse me. Okay, again, scanning at the beginning, I have a capital sentence, a capital for the first word in the sentence, which is a definite article, the. So the baby's tiny, okay, baby I'm not referring to as a plural, in which case I would drop the Y and replace it with IES if I'm talking about more than one baby. Instead, I mean to say this is the tiny curled fist, which is possessed by the baby. So to show ownership, I'm going to go ahead and add my apostrophe S, again to say that this is the tiny curled fist that's owned by the baby. So the baby's tiny curled fist waved in the air as, he slept in his crib. I would disagree with the use of this pause here. So as he slept in his crib, slept is what's called an irregular word, or one of our irregular words, meaning it does not follow suit with many of our spelling rules when changing the tense. So ordinarily you would add ed to a word in order to make it past tense. However, there are some words which, as I mentioned, are called irregular, in which case you need to change the spelling altogether. Sleep is the present, and then slept is actually not the word we're looking for to show that it occurred in the past. Instead, it would be written as slept. The same way child as a plural would be written as children, or tooth as a singular would be written as teeth for plural. They're irregular insofar as I wouldn't add an S to those to make them a plural, and so on. Anywho, so rereading, we have the baby's tiny curled fist waved in the air as he slept in his crib, period. Making a statement. All right, well, let's go ahead and switch over to our fourth and final sentence, which reads, spring, weather can change very quickly. One day it's warm, and the next you need an umbrella. I'll read it again because it was a little funny. Spring weather can change very quickly. One day it's warm, and the next you need an umbrella. Again, pause, make your corrections, and resume when ready. Excuse me. Okay, again, scanning at the beginning of the sentence, we have no lowercase, and in fact, there's two reasons why you would want to make it an uppercase or capitalize it. One, it's the beginning of a sentence. Two, it's a proper noun. It's the name of a season. So spring, weather, this is a different kind of weather, referring back to homophones, which are words that sound the same as others, but are spelled differently and also possess different meaning. This kind of weather, W-H-E-T-H-E-R-E, implies that you're making a decision, like you're vacillating between options. Instead, we're looking for like atmospheric weather, like it's hot, it's cold, which is spelled W-E-A-T-H-E-R. Spring weather can change very quickly. This in itself is a separate clause from the next, which reads, one day it's warm, and the next you need an umbrella. It doesn't seem to have any kind of pause or, or segue between this clause, which I'll just go ahead and switch my color. I'll underline the first clause, which is spring weather can change very quickly. And then the next would be one day it's warm, and the next you need an umbrella. I feel like there is something that needs to either bridge the two or separate them. In this case, you can do one of two things. You can insert the semicolon, which links both parts of the sentence together since they both share a common theme or a common idea. Or instead, you can go ahead and conclude with a period. Oops, let me just erase it. Or you can go ahead and conclude it with a period. So either a semicolon or a period, either one. However, if you end it with a period, just remember that you need to start the next sentence with a capital letter. However, if you end it with a semicolon, that's not required. Anywho, one day it's warm. Incorrect version or variation of the word it's. I'm looking for the contraction, which would be the base word it plus the word is. To show that, I need to include the apostrophe s. So one day it is or it's warm, and the next, you need a umbrella. You'll notice I have this article a, followed by the letter u, which is a vowel in the next word. The rule when using an article, a general article, between a and an, you always use an when the word following the article begins with a vowel, which in this case it does. So an umbrella is how it should have been written, period. All right, I believe we are good as far as the corrections are concerned. I do not see any others. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share, which hopefully it saved. Yes, it did. All right, perfect. All right, I look forward to working with you in the next video. If you found this one helpful, I would very much appreciate if you were to like it. If you would like to see additional content similar to this, please feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next one if you happen to join. All right, thank you.